Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Gabriel Tenorio String Company. They're cool. They're buy really some strings.
Cool. You know, Gabriel is an awesome guy, and I have seen him in person make strings literally by hand. They're the only string company that I know of, that I think anyone knows of, that literally makes their strings by hand. He's using his actual fingers, bare skin to wire, to wrap the wrap around the strings. It's incredible.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he is using a round core
absolutely
for his wrap strings, and that wrap is put on by hand.
Yeah, a lot of companies, they push this hex core stuff. Like hex core is this technological advancement. It's so good. The reason they're using hex core is because the machines that automatically wind to the string, those winds grab onto the string a little better if there's hex core. If you're hand winding them, you don't need that because you're sitting there and putting it on the tension yourself and actually making full contact with the string and personal attention to it. So there's a clear advantage. If you believe that having the wrap of your string make full contact with the core of the string with no gaps and those little hex gaps, then Gabriel Tenorio Custom Strings are the strings for you.
Yep. Go check them out at thegts.co.
This episode is also brought to you by Fatfoot Effects.
Yep. Fatfoot Effects makes a pedal called the Thallium 81. They're a new builder on the market that builds pedals with the working musician in mind. Rugged quality, great sounding pedals. They work hard to keep the price point low and keep the pedals musical so you can get crazy without breaking the bank.
A really cool thing about this sponsor is that they sent us a track for the end of the show, a song from one of their artists.
Yep,
that's a new one. I really like it.
Yeah, the Thallium 81 is a hard clipping distortion pedal. Designed to retain the character of the guitar, but add a little spice to the chain and be versatile. Basically sounds like everything you would want out of a hard clipping distortion.
Yeah, I want a versatile hard clipping distortion. I mean, hard clipping just means it's an aggressive distortion.
Yep. So go check them out, fatfooteffects.com.
Hey, this is Ryan.
And this is Steve, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
Yay! Have you been practicing, Steve?
No, I felt like I said playing twice, so everybody go back 5 seconds and listen again.
No one cares.
Somebody might care.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. What's new?
I set up a trade on that Strat I was trying to sell.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So I'm going to be trading it for a Chase Bliss tonal recall.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That's a fancy pants pedal to trade a guitar for.
Yeah, so it's actually one of our listeners, one of our pledgers.
Cool. One of our inner circlers?
I believe so.
Huh.
Anyway, so I got everything set up, and we're going to make the trade. I'm going to send him the guitar first because I'm notoriously slow at shipping. So we got the deal, but I told him
you're shipping this thing.
Yeah, I'm shipping it.
Shipping a guitar, all right.
Yeah, that's why I needed that box from you.
I'm acting like I don't know what's going on, Steve.
Okay.
I obviously already know all the details of this, but our listeners don't.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm guiding the conversation.
So I'm going to be shipping this thing. It's going to be my first time shipping a guitar in 10 years.
Whoa.
That'll be fun.
Well, things are different now.
Yeah.
10 years later, you're going to find the guitar shipping game is completely different. I'm sure it's the same.
I'm going to be using FedEx this time.
You put it in a box and send it.
Last time I think I used USPS.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to use FedEx this time. Is that a good idea? Do you know?
Every time I've shipped a guitar, it's been through FedEx, but every time I've shipped a guitar, the postage has already been paid.
Right.
And so I just put it on the box and take it over there, and I don't have to deal with anything.
Yeah. So this will be a new experience all around for me.
New experience.
But yeah, I'm really excited, and I think the tough thing with the guitar is I wanted to sell it locally because I didn't want to. I didn't want to ship it and then have somebody be grumpy about it and be like, no, I don't want this. You suck.
Yeah.
But I feel like with the trade, like if something doesn't work out, which I think everything is going to be fine, then we can always just swap back.
And shipping a guitar back is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. And then the other side of it is just that. Well, and it's also someone like I could talk to, like,
sure,
and like that I know I can like work with, and he can work with me.
Yeah.
And the other side of it is also like now I can take a pedal, and I'm way more comfortable selling a pedal online on Reverb.
It'll probably
or
move
whatever,
quicker,
and I'll move faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So. All in all, like so far, so good. This is progress. Progress is good.
Also, you're getting a tonal recall.
Yeah.
Which means that we both have tonal recalls, which means that I should send in my tonal recall to get the red knob mod.
Yeah. Which I guess means I can't sell it too fast.
You have to wait a little bit. It'll be less than 90 days. You're not going to lose money on this.
Right. Got that big shelf of inventory.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll get the red knob mod, and then we'll do a little comparison shootout or something.
Yeah.
To see how they do. I got to hit up Joel now to get that figured out. This is a part of the show where you ask me what's new.
I was about to ask you what was new, but you cut me off. So what's new, Ryan?
I've been working on refinishing my first act Dos Dos Dos.
Oh,
you can see it on the workbench over there.
Why are you calling it the Dos Dos Dos?
Because it's the 222.
I know what it is.
It's more fun to say Dos Dos Dos.
I guess.
Have you ever seen those billboards where the phone number is dos 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 dos? It's a bunch of twos.
I think
it was for like a Espanol law firm or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if they still run them, but they were all over the place back in the day. But that's why I do it.
It sounds really familiar, but
yeah,
I don't really remember.
So, anyways, it was white. And I really wasn't playing the guitar, and I was like, I kind of want to just mess around with a project and refinish something.
Right.
So first, I heat stripped part of the top of the guitar body. And it bubbled up the wood, the really awful cheap wood.
Oh, geez.
In a bad way. And so I was like, I'm just going to sand the rest of this. But it left all these bubbles.
I meant to ask about that the last time I was here, because I think you had started on it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you had the other deal out. And I was like, why aren't you just... I thought about, like, why aren't you just heat stripping this? But I didn't bother asking.
Yeah, I started out heat stripping it, but... like I said early on, like the wood itself started bubbling up. And I was like, I don't like this at all. So then I started attacking it with a sander, and that wasn't great. Mm-hmm. I don't like breathing in all that dust.
Yeah, it's super dusty in here right now.
It's super dusty. And I put on a mask eventually because it was pretty bad.
I feel like I need a mask right now.
But yeah, I also didn't want to get the whole garage dusty, which it is now. I actually came through before I set up today and dusted off the mics and the table and everything because it was really bad. I should probably throw a painter cloth over everything next time I do it. So I stripped the whole top and then sanded it flat. And then started messing around with paint. And I thought I was going to do another sparkle job. So I emptied a can of cold spray paint on it. And then I was like, I hate this.
You posted a picture of that, right?
Yeah, I posted a picture of it. I hate how this is turning out. And so then I covered the gold with this blue colored paint. And let it hang out to dry on the deck for a couple days. And then I was like, I hate this too. So I brought it back in the garage, and I've completely sanded down the top and the back to just the bare wood. And the side of it is still the blue with a little flecks of gold popping through where it's scratched. Oh. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain the wood and get it kind of dark. And then whatever happens when the stain touches the paint is just what's going to happen.
That'd be cool.
And then I'll clear coat the whole thing. So it'll be kind
of
like...
I like the way the blue paint works as like a two-tone right now.
Yeah.
Like with the wood.
Like I'm going to go for like kind of like a woody sort of look. It's like a reverse woody.
Right.
There's a lot of jokes you could make off the reverse woody thing there.
I know.
None of them are coming to me, but
we'll let the listener.
Yeah, guys,
we'll let the listeners work that one out.
Make some reverse woody jokes on the Facebook group, will you please? Someone take up this task. But yeah, I'm excited for how it's looking. I was hoping to put a different neck in there, but the neck pocket is actually smaller than the other two necks I have around. So it's some kind of custom neck dimension for first act, which I'm not stoked about. And I could get in there and route it out, but I kind of just don't care
Are you sure
enough.
your Dean neck just isn't too big? Maybe the Dean is big, not the first act is small.
No, both of the Dean and the other neck are the same dimensions.
Oh, okay.
And they both fit into a Strat template that I have. So it is definitely smaller, and it wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to route it out.
Right.
I should probably just buckle down and do it, because I've got that neck that'll look pretty cool with the Flying V headstock on it up there. I don't actually know how that one plays. I know the first act neck doesn't play great. It plays all right, but it doesn't play great. I was also thinking if I put the first act neck on there, I should strip it down to being fretless and have a funky fretless guitar.
That would be really weird.
Put flat wounds on it or something. I have no purpose for it. I have no need for it.
Well, you don't have a purpose or need for this guitar to begin with.
Exactly. I paid $25 for this thing. I've already paid like $20 in refinishing materials on it, so I've doubled its value already.
Yeah, refinishing materials.
Not value. I haven't doubled its value. I've doubled its cost.
in refinishing materials that you put on and then said, I don't like this.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like it's made out of what looks like 10 pieces of wood or something like that. I kind of like the stripy nature of it.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, and I think we've kind of we've touched on this before, at least, is the idea that I actually always, whenever I see multi-piece bodies where they're not even trying, I always think those look really cool.
Yeah.
Because but what I mean by not really trying is if you're looking at this right now,
it's kind of random.
It's got a strip, and then it's got one piece that's maybe about an inch wide. That's a completely dark wood, and then another section that's 3 or 4 inches, and it's just all of these it's randomly alternating lights and darks.
I'm sure once I get a clear coat on there, it's just going to pop that grain.
Yeah. So I always thought that looked cool. It's kind of like if somebody took the old Alembic neck through formula, and just did it without any care.
But I like the body shape. I think it's a cool look. It'll be fun to pop some funky humbuckers in there or something, or some funky pickups.
Yeah,
and cut a custom pick guard for it and just get weird with it. So I'm looking forward to having it playable. I still don't know how it's going to end up or what my plan is, but that's what I've been working on. All right, should we tackle an ad?
Yeah, let's do this thing. This first ad was sent in by Michael Adzant, and this ad is called Alice. This is a Fender Deluxe Player Stratocaster with major upgrades, $550. Says 1, Alice. Yes, somebody, likely in a drug and or alcohol-fueled fit, carved/burned Alice to the back of the headstock. Either you'll think that's cool. All my neighbors know Alice, and my own wife barely has a clue when I say the Les Paul or the Telecaster. Everybody knows Alice. If you're in the crowd that thinks this is not so cool and you're looking for a more museum piece than a player, fair enough. Stop reading here and go to the next ad. 2, Tex-Mex pickups. I've tried lots of pickups on various Strats. I've given Texas Specials several tries. I love the sound of these Tex-Mex pickups more than anything else I've tried. That includes Strats that I've had that were more than $1,000. Orange drop caps. It's an internal techie kind of thing. Rather than ramble on about it, you can read more about it here. The net.
The net?
I don't know. It's another way to make Alice sound better. Oh, that's the net. The net gain. What's the short,
All right.
Cloth wiring. Again, higher in composition to make her sound better. Kluson Deluxe tuners. I do a lot of soloing and can't stand guitars that go out of tune when bending the strings on lead parts. Alice is in tune and stays in tune as well as any guitar I've ever owned. CTS 250K pots. Again, higher quality parts. Ball ash body, maple neck, rosewood fretboard. I'm getting really tired of this.
Yeah.
Guitar Center has a Fender Deluxe Player Strat on their site right now for $499 plus more than $35 tax. It doesn't have Tex-Mex pickups, upgraded parts and wiring, and these tuners. Fender serial number available upon request. Alice has been one of my all-time favorite guitars. For the money, I haven't been able to duplicate the sound in a Strat. Highly playable and in tune up and down the neck. I'm reminded of the Stallone movie Cobra from back in the 1980s.
I mean, who isn't always thinking about that movie,
Near the end, Brigitte Nielsen tries to make fun of Stallone, saying...
You mean Bridget Nelson?
No, it's Brigitte.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pronounced Brigitte.
All right.
Your name is Marion, huh? Yeah, I always wish it was something tougher. Really? Like what? Alice. Alice still lives with me between O'Fallon, Missouri and Lake St. Louis, near the intersection of highways 40 and 64 and highways 40, 64 and highway 364 north. So it's easy to get here from almost anywhere in St. Louis.
Why are you reading the geography information, Steve?
Because people in St. Louis, in the greater St. Louis area, want to know about their local geography.
So what's the cost of these guitars when they're stock and new?
So the Fender Deluxe players, I want to say is around $700 new. There's one on Reverb for $800, $799.99. So that might be the actual basically the new price. Here it is on Reverb for $830, $824.99. So as far as things go, I feel like I've normally seen these. This guy's asking $550. I feel like I've normally seen these for about $550, maybe as low as $400 on the used market.
There's a completed listing on eBay for $425.
Yeah. Now this guy, of course, he claims a bunch of upgrades.
Here's another one for $550.
And what do we think about these upgrades, Ryan?
Another $550, a $515. Yeah, around $500 is the roundabout on these things. To me, most of them don't sound like upgrades. They just sound like component swaps.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I put in new pots. What was wrong with the old pots? The original pot shouldn't have been bad. You put in 250Ks. It should have come stock with 250s.
Yep. The original pickups would have been vintage noiseless Fenders. So, I mean, whether or not going from vintage noiseless pickups to Tex-Mex is an upgrade is completely subjective.
Yeah, that as far as value goes, that's mostly like a lateral move.
I would say that's a wash, personally. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the tuners. It seems like what did this have originally? Like closed back tuners?
They would have been vintage, the vintage style tuners, I believe.
Huh. So he just put in a different kind of vintage tuner.
Yeah, let me see if I can find a close-up. I could be wrong on that. Maybe these weren't the vintage. Oh, these aren't. These were Fender sealed. In fact, I think these are Fender locking tuners originally.
So he swapped out locking tuners for
vintage style Clousons.
I mean, it's not a bad move, but it's not an upgrade. It's a lateral grade. Yeah. It's a side grade, you know?
The one thing on this guitar specifically, or this series of guitars, is this does have the 12-inch radius neck, which is like
that's fun.
A pretty nice neck.
Yeah. I'd love to have a 12-inch a flat radius Strat. That'd be a lot of fun.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, this is a pretty standard Strat all around. It's got some more I guess high performance, for lack of a better description, upgrades. The original Deluxe players, I mean. So this guy's kind of taken these and then gone one step higher, I guess. But I just don't see that as being an upgrade. And again, the back of the headstock has Alice soldered into it.
So we both agree that most of the upgrades on this are lateral moves. They're side grades.
Yeah, I think so.
So what is the value knockoff that the Alice thing?
Well, the upside to Alice
dings this guitar for
is you can't see it. It's on the back of the headstock, so
the player sees it
nonstop.
Right.
Without seeing how deep it is, I mean, it
looks pretty deep.
It does look pretty deep. So
that's not something you can buff out.
Probably couldn't buff it out.
It looks spooky. It looks like a ghost burned that in.
Right. I don't know. He's asking $550. I feel like $400 would be where I would top out on this.
That's right around where I was thinking. $400, $375. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, I get that you put work into this thing, but I could go buy one that's not messed up by a ghost,
right? For
$475, $515, $550, and have it be completely cherry.
And that's the issue is you're saying you're seeing these on eBay as low as $425.
Yeah.
Granted, you're gonna have to pay the extra to ship it and whatever.
Oh,
probably.
Sure. So maybe $400 is
but.
is
the flip side
the very
is,
bottom on this.
is okay. If you really want to take out, like, swap the tuners, you take those tuners out, you sell them, and you get your new tuners. And you're going to lose a little bit, but probably not that much. The pickups, like, you could take the vintage noiseless pickups, get, I don't know, $50-$60 for them, and you can probably get Tex-Mex for fairly cheap somewhere.
Yeah.
Cloth wiring, like...
Well, I don't even want those upgrades. So it's like...
No, I'm just saying if you wanted to. Like, like, you could do all this stuff. I mean, maybe somebody, like, saw this and thought Alice was cool.
Maybe your name is Alice. You want a Strat with the flat radius and Tex-Mex pickups, and you see this and you're like, this is perfect. It's made just for me. And I write like a ghost. So it's like I wrote on this.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
Get this guitar.
Yeah.
There's a kind of some dead space between the L and the I in Alice. Add another L so it spells all ice.
Uh-huh.
Start a Vanilla Ice tribute band.
Or just say... Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
What the heck? Someone's texting me.
And then all you got to do is plug this guitar in and play dun 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 dun. Dun. Is it wait
dun 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 dun?
Oh, it's dun. Okay, no.
Dun 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 dun. I don't know. I can't. I can never remember the difference. It's vastly different from Under Pressure.
Yes, completely.
But
There's at least like
I always mix them up.
There's at least like 3 different notes.
Dun 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 dun. I think that's how Ice Ice Baby goes.
All right. Yeah. So bye, Alice.
Goodbye.
Let's keep rolling, man.
Yeah.
Big wheels keep on turning.
Proud Mary keeps on burning.
News. This is kind of a newsy topic.
Yeah.
JHS and Boss teamed up.
I mean, this is old news at this point.
Yeah, but it's new news for us.
Yeah, we weren't ready to record and talk about it.
For the JHS Boss Angry Driver. A cross between the JHS Angry Charlie and the Boss Blues Driver. What do you think about this thing?
I think my emotions are mixed. Mm-hmm. First of all, I think it's a great value.
Yeah,
for $200. When it was first announced, there were people who their knee jerk reaction was like $200,
right? And
then they sat there and thought about it a bit and was like, I guess if I bought a Blues Driver and I bought an Angry Charlie, I'd be saving money versus doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like you can use one or the other and both of them and in parallel. So it's like you're not really missing anything other than like being able to organize them in different ways on your board. And what was I going for in this this line?
I don't know, man. What were you going for?
But yeah, I think I was talking about the price. I think the price is fantastic.
Yeah, is it $200?
$200. The thing that really struck me with this pedal is the freaking knobs, man. Boss,
all stacked.
Boss made custom knobs in that style of knobs that JHS uses,
right?
To like complete the look of this is a hybrid between Boss and JHS.
Yeah,
I've never seen Boss do something like that where they come up with a brand new knob. But it's like a stacked knob, like it's the same function as like the knobs that are on like Metal Zones.
Yeah, one of the other things with the price too is that a lot of people, they think of Boss as a budget brand of sorts.
Well, I think they always think like, I could go buy a DS1 for $40,
right?
It's like but the rest of their stuff is like $130, $160.
Well, and even like the Blues Driver. So I would expect this to compare well to the so like the standard Blues Driver is $100 new.
Yeah.
But I would expect this to compare more favorably to the Waza Blues Driver or the Wazacraft Blues Driver, which is $150. So now you're looking at like a $150 Boss pedal, a $180 JHS pedal.
Yeah.
So this is like higher than both, but it's kind of both of them.
Mixed in with a pretty interesting like wiring schematic for combining the two. You could have one before the other or one after the other, or you have them parallel or have them in series, like all sorts of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I will say I haven't really had the time or frame of mind to go watch any of the demos that are on it, so I don't really know what it sounds like, but I've heard generally favorable reviews of it.
Well, I got, I'll say this: I ordered one the day that they came out. I was like,
do you know when the delivery is supposed to be?
Sometime in October.
Oh, okay.
So I think I got in after the first run sold out. I had some mixed feelings on this, mixed and being two good feelings mixing together.
Right.
My first feeling was like, wow, that's really interesting. And wow, that's cool. And I'd been wanting an Angry Charlie for a while. Mm-hmm. I just never got around to pulling the trigger. And it's like, my other set of feelings was just like pure like happiness and joy for JHS.
Right.
That they were able to like put this together with Boss, and also happiness for Boss because we've had some interactions with people over at Boss and they're a really cool company.
Yeah.
It's just a really neat thing to see happen in the gear industry, to have a company that the perception is that those are the big boys.
Right.
And those are, you know, like everything they do is like, you know, on their own, they do their own thing. Then you have JHS, which has a history of like collaborating,
at least with artists. But I don't know if they have. Do they have a big history of collaborating with like other companies?
Remember when we had a contest for the JHS Keeley steak and eggs?
Oh, that's right. They did do the steak and eggs.
Yeah, they've done various things over the years. You know? Like they get together with people.
This
and make
one's.
things happen.
I mean, obviously, this one's like a merging of like a.
It's on another
classic
level.
Company. Boss just hitting its 40th anniversary this year.
It's merging with a company that's outside of this perceived like boutique circle of people. Yeah. Whereas like, you know, companies like JHS and Keeley and Walrus and, you know, these guys, they've in the past couple of years, they've also kind of like merged out of being boutique brands.
Right.
In air quotes. In that when I think of boutique guitar pedal companies, I'm thinking of what we used to think of them as like some guy in a garage making, you know, like there's short runs of stuff. Like they're almost a hybrid now. This class of pedal companies where like they're really just small builders.
Well, what we have is, I mean, to make a beer analogy,
sure,
because that's what I'm good at apparently. Is at least from a perception standpoint, if you're going to say like Boss is, you know, Anheuser-Busch, the JHS is kind of like Sam Adams or Sierra Nevada.
Right.
Where technically, like, it's still primarily like, at least compared to like an Anheuser-Busch, Sam Adams is a small shop.
Sure.
But then compared to Oscar Blues or, you know, some other, you know, we've been talking about our local Rough Draft, the place across the street from my work, especially compared to like a Rough Draft, like Sam Adams is on another planet. You know, Sam Adams, I think, does 3 or 4 million barrels a year, whereas like the brewery down the street from you might do like 1,000 or 10,000 barrels a year.
To do another food analogy, it's kind of like if McDonald's and In-N-Out did a collab. You know, McDonald's is infinitely bigger than In-N-Out.
Right.
But the people who think about burgers, you know, like there are two companies that exist and are on their peripheral, you know?
What if In-N-Out,
lay it on me,
Five Guys,
oh my gosh,
did a collabo and call it the JHS burger? All right.
I'd eat it.
All right, this next ad is...
Wait, are we done talking about that?
I don't know. You got anything else to say?
Well, I was going to go into that more and just say that it's...
You just want to make more food analogies?
No. You know, I'm like I said, I'm really happy for JHS in this. Like, it's a big move. I remember almost a year ago at Winter NAMM. Do you remember we were at the Earthquaker JHS party?
Yeah.
And the owner of Boss, his name is Toshi?
I have no idea.
I completely just screwed his name up, I'm sure. I forget his name, but he walked into the party.
Oh,
they
really?
learned about the party somehow, and I just saw Josh completely just nerd out.
Oh, yeah?
And I think ever since that NAMM, they've been working on, you know, like a friendship with each other. And a lot of people on various groups who were talking various amounts of trash were like, I don't know why Boss chose them. Why didn't they choose my favorite company?
Oh, yeah.
And this and that.
Everyone, that's always going to be a thing.
But then, I mean, from our perspective of having a little bit of a, you know, a backroom view of the industry with the people that we've gotten to know and the groups that we get to be in and the people that we get to travel with. It's kind of just been a natural thing of watching them have a growing relationship with each other, as in like a friendship way and as in like in a business way.
Yeah.
And something I'm excited to see develop out of this is we already know that like all these, you know, kind of like smaller builders like work together. Like they trade components with each other. They trade designers with each other and have, you know, their engineers work on different things for each other. And like, it's a community of competitors where they're working for the same customer base, but they work together. It'll be interesting to see if this kind of bridges the gap between what those companies offer each other and what a company like Boss could offer, you know, all the small builders in the world.
Right.
Like, what if Boss was like, hey, we really enjoyed this. What if we offer a certain component set that only we can get manufactured because of our size to these smaller builders and make it available, you know? Like, I'm excited to see if things like that happen. Like those freaking knobs that they made for the pedal. Like, what if they make that style of pot and knob available to the small builder community? Like, it'll be really interesting to see if things like that happen. And I think it's a good move for the entire industry has been my thought on it.
You thought a lot about this.
I thought a lot about it. I got honestly kind of emotional when it got announced because I felt so happy. Like, not even for the product itself. I felt happy for the industry, and I felt happy for the people that we know who are affected by this. You know,
no, it's really interesting. For me, at least, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, totally.
But you know, it's I don't think, you know, despite what their reputation is or has become, I don't think there's like anyone building pedals that didn't start either trying to mod a DS1 or an SD1 or do something with the Tube Screamer. I mean, that's
totally.
You know, I technically, like in an internet sense, like I met Brian Wampler like 15, 16 years ago on a forum when he was indie guitarist, and basically all he did was DS1 mods. Like, that was his whole shtick, was DS1 mods, and I mean he had a ton of them. Yeah, and if you go online and look for indie guitarist DS1 mods, like there's a list of like every component and what will happen to the pedal if you like swap out this component for another one. There's like 8 mods that Brian put together that are still like floating around the internet. So it's like Boss is a company that like a lot of people cut their teeth learning circuits, learning how to manipulate circuits using what Boss had already created. So it is really like kind of interesting to see this kind of comes full circle.
Yeah. It is very interesting. It's an exciting time.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next ad.
All right, this next ad was sent in by Domvin Ford. This is a 1971 Gibson SG-200 in walnut, $550 in Texas.
And when Domvin finds ads, he really finds ads. Yeah. Like, he finds some really good ads.
Fairly rare, many dings and scratches. This was a well-loved guitar, but it hasn't been played in about 20 years. Nice feel, low action, electronics are in good shape, mostly original, but a few things are not. The tuning pegs for sure are not. And there was a bridge cover, but it wasn't there when I bought it. I'm not trying to pull one over on anyone. There may be other things too that have been replaced or adjusted over the years, but I don't remember. And if you're seriously looking at this guitar, you probably know better than I do. I honestly don't know much about this guitar or guitars in general. The price seems more than fair to me, taking into consideration what I paid for it and some internet searches. You'll see that it goes for more than double. Those are probably in better condition appearance-wise. Do your own searches by all means. I am posting detailed pics, but feel free to contact me with questions, and I will do my best to answer. So $550 for this. What do you think?
I don't know anything about this model or its value. He said that there's some that go for twice this, and I believe it. This thing is crazy looking.
There is one on Reverb right now for $11.
Show me. I want to see it in stock condition.
It's actually $1,200. I'm trying to get the Reverb site up right now. I'm trying to find a good. Oh, I'm getting really TO'd because she hasn't sent me a full body shot.
There it is, the full body shot.
So
weird. What is that bridge? I don't.
That's the bridge that's supposed to be on there.
So he thought it's missing the bridge cover.
It is technically that is accurate.
It has an aftermarket bridge hacked into it.
Yeah,
being a Caller.
It's got an like '80s Caller Shredmaster.
I'm trying to see a close up of that cover, or if there's a shot.
I've actually, before I handed you that, I found another picture of this guitar with the bridge cover removed.
That cover's so funky. I would remove that bridge cover right away, no matter what.
You don't like it?
No, I don't, because I like the palm mute right on the saddles.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, this thing is a trip, and apparently this is what the bridge is supposed to look like.
Oh, weird.
It kind of has a EB bass vibe going on.
It's that SG harmonica bridge,
right,
with a built-in stop piece that comes out underneath it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm surprised they didn't go for more of a Bigsby trim after that. But this was probably modified in the 80s.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to put a Caller on here.
Of course.
I got a drive bomb on my SG, please. Which is funny because it has those, those SG Melody Maker single coils in there. My favorite part of this guitar is the control plate with those double toggles.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It's a very old school toggle look.
I want that on a Telecaster. Like those double toggles
right.
on a Telecaster.
It's probably just on off.
Yeah, it's an on-off for each pickup. If you're real lucky, there might be like an out-of-phase, like a Mustang sort of thing going on there too.
Yeah.
It was a 3-position on each one.
So I think if you're looking at this, you're kind of looking at looking at this from an angle of
you can't restore this.
You can't restore right.
Like
you can't restore this.
That wood is gone.
But it seems like I said, the one you were looking at is on Reverb for 1200. As far as I can tell, there's not like a ton of these out there, but the price is
that bridge is going to work.
Right?
People like Callers. I've heard that they can be, tricky to get dialed in, but if you dial it in, it's going to work just like the original bridge did. It's going to hold the strings up where you need them to be.
Oh, the neck doesn't have neck pitch either. So these were all.
So it's like it's kind of like those M2s.
Yeah, so it says Gibson steered away. I found an article on Premier Guitar. It says Gibson steered away from traditional designs using a slightly larger body shape, no neck pitch, and single coil pickups. Basically, things that were now considered like all downgrades.
Yeah. I don't know. I played
the body was actually made out of maple, making it heavier.
Oh.
And the fingerboard strings on top of the body became parallel, resulting in high action over the body. So it's
SGs already have high action over the body when you get close to the bridge.
Yeah. Apparently,
which makes sense why this thing is able to support a Caller, which would sit flatter to the body.
Yeah. Apparently, these guitars were basically only made for 1 year because they
They flopped.
Year. Yeah, they basically flopped and were quickly replaced. But they have maple body, set maple neck, 22 fretboard. Tuners, bridge, whatever. It says it's Tune-O-Matic bridge with an odd connected base plate and bridge cover. Melody Maker style pickups with black covers inscribed with Gibson. I think it looks really cool. I think if probably at the time, if you're looking for like a legit Gibson, like it was probably just too weird.
Yeah, it's definitely funky, and those gigantic pickup rings around those single coils are super funky.
Yeah. But for $550 now,
yeah,
you could do a lot worse.
Absolutely. I think if I was to pick this up, since it's already defiled and it can't be put back to normal,
yeah,
I think I would probably ditch those pickup rings, and I would cut a custom pick guard that would wrap around that control plate a little bit and kind of complete a Gibson gone Fender sort of vibe, but make it a little funky in an SG sort of way.
I kind of feel like those pickup rings make the jank.
Make the jank?
Like I kind of want it to be that funky weirdness.
It feels like it needs something to break up the dark finish a little bit, like even like a little bit of a pick guard on the lower bout.
Yeah.
You know, I think would look really nice.
Yeah. All right. This topic was sent to us by Matt Chittum.
It was sent to us by a bunch of people.
Well, that's also true. But he just says, because I know you guys love offsets, G&L introduced is it Doheny? Doheny, which is basically a Jazzmaster.
It is.
Hooray.
I watched their launch video on it.
Jazzmaster.
Apparently the big deal is the big deal that they're pushing isn't the guitar itself. The big deal is the pickups.
Congratulations, G&L. You've made your way into the Jazzmaster game. 50 years too late.
Well, what was the Squire one that was basically this? It was a Jazzmaster.
The Jagmaster?
Was it the Jagmaster?
Yeah, it was like a Jag with double humbuckers.
Yeah, but then it had a Strat trim on it.
Yeah, that's the Jagmaster.
That's basically what this is.
It is.
In form and function. But the video that I was watching, the guy was all hot on the pickups, that it's G&L's specific pickup technology where it's a 3-knobber. And the first knob is volume, but the other 2 knobs, one is a high roll-off and one is a low roll-off. So it's a completely different kind of like circuit.
Right.
Based around these pickups, which is interesting. Like when I was first looking at them, I was like, well, another offset with a Strat bridge. Like who cares? But like hearing that, I was like, okay, now I think I want to try one of these.
Yeah, and they use these. They're called magnetic field design jazz pickups, which the magnetic field design is kind of like what G&L uses across the board on a bunch of their guitars.
I don't even know what it means.
I guess the magnetic field design ASAT special pickups are like those big Telecaster pickups that you see on their ASATs. This one they say is more about jangle than twang, just as they should be for a guitar like this. I really think the big issue, like, G&L commentary aside, every G&L guitar I've played has been solid. It's been worth whatever
they're great guitars.
I felt like they were asking for. Some people really hate the headstock, whatever. I'm usually a headstock hater. I actually don't hate the G&L headstock. I just kind of like, of all of the design choices that G&L has made over the years, and some have been, I mean, the ASAT is a Telecaster. The whatever the hell the other thing is a Stratocaster, right?
I think it's a Comanche, something like that.
I
can't remember their model names. I always liked the one that was kind of a Mustang shape, but it's like bigger bodied.
Right. Yeah, the Comanche is basically like has a Strat thing going on. I think you're thinking of the SC2.
Yeah.
But it's like, and the Legacy and the Comanche are basically the same body shape as far as I can tell. The difference is the Comanche has the Z pickups.
Oh, yeah. I like those Z pickups.
The S500, I think, is more their classic Strat. But they've kind of always stayed in that wheelhouse of just kind of very standard Fender, except for the SC. And their basses they've branched out a lot more on their shapes with the basses. I think a lot of people just, and I don't disagree, like, why did it take so long to do an offset from G&L? And I mean, the obvious answer, I think, is that the offset market probably has never been bigger than it is right now.
Sure.
But the flip side of that is the offset market has probably never been more saturated than it is right now.
Yeah. I mean, freaking, what's their faces had a booth with offsets. Shoot, I'm bummed that I can't remember their name now. That's embarrassing.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
They had a booth across from Cower at Winter NAMM.
I don't know, man.
Dead air, man. I can't remember.
I don't know who you're thinking of.
It's going to come to me later. Right. I'll be like, these guys.
So, I mean, I think that criticism in some ways is like, it's easy criticism to be like, oh, you're late to the game, without actually playing them. Like I said, the other G&L stuff I played has all been solid. It's probably worth a look if you're looking for something different. What you're saying about the pickups, I haven't watched any of the videos, so I can't say.
I mean, in the video,
that's
they sounded like Jazzmaster pickups to me. It wasn't like, oh, wow, these sound fantastic, or these sound completely different from anything. They just sounded like decent pickups.
Yeah.
The thing that was frustrating about the video is the guy didn't like play any like surf rock or anything like that. Like he was playing like blues riffs and things. He was playing them very well. But,
what do you think about?
And he didn't play any like shoegazy type stuff.
What do you think about the naming of this?
I'm fine with it.
Do you think it's? I had to look up. Honestly, I thought it was kind of weird. I thought,
really?
Well, because I had to actually like look up what it meant. I felt like it was like maybe too specific. Maybe that was the point.
I guess as someone who's relatively plugged in with surf culture and vintage surf culture, like it seems obvious to me.
Right.
Just because it's a beach.
And I guess that's the thing is they're saying like, oh, like anyone who knows anything about surf culture knows what this guitar is all about.
Anyone who's listened to a Beach Boys song has heard them talk about Doheny.
Oh, really? I can't understand half the thing that comes out of those guys' mouths.
It's mostly just high-pitched squeals and whines. You know?
So maybe that's it. Like maybe like I would just think like, I don't know. I probably would have gone broader and called it like the Huntington or the Ventura.
Sure. Well, Fender has a Ventura.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's an acoustic, right?
Yeah, I was going to say they could have also gone with the Newport or the Malibu, but those are also Fender names.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. I had to actually look up what the deal was with it. I guess the name is... It's not a bad name, except I keep pronouncing it wrong.
I think, excuse me, I'm yawning. I think it's just one of those names that's, it sounds a little funny, and if you're not familiar with it, like you're like, what is this?
Maybe next they'll put out a cop-themed guitar called the G&L Doheny.
That would be nice, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it would do, but it probably would not want any homeless people in its town.
Yeah, I don't have any cop jokes for you with that one.
Do you have any Brian Dennehy jokes?
I don't have any Dennehy jokes.
All right.
So sorry.
You're letting me down.
Yeah.
You're letting me down. All right.
Do we know the price on these things?
I couldn't find a price.
So they were just announcing it. They haven't thrown a price out there, which is a bummer. Because if those are $600, I'm like, yeah, go get them. If they're like $1,200,
they're G&L USA's, so I'm guessing they're going to be the higher price.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of great offsets out there right now. It's a thing.
Yeah,
and it's like the pickups. Like this sounds like a cool concept, but people who buy offsets kind of just want their standard pickups, or they want something that's so out there that it's like a complete like departure from an offset. Like they want to load it with like Gretsch pickups or like
the
high output humbuckers or something.
The prices are kind of like all over, but it looks like the ASAT classics start around $850, and I'm not sure.
That's still not terrible. I mean, if these things come in under $1,000, I think they're probably a decent buy.
Yeah, but then like some of these ASAT specials are like $1,500-$1,700.
Yeah,
so I don't really know where to expect these to come in. G&L's like so not easy to find in stores.
Yeah,
that was a bad sentence. Here's an ASAT Classic at Guitar Center, brand new, $1,450.
Wow.
So I would expect these to be at least priced in that.
I mean, these
range.
are probably going to sell. They have a built-in audience of people who are G&L fanboys, for lack of a better term, who will be like, "Oh, finally, I can buy an offset from my brand, the brand that I like." So I don't doubt that they'll have no problem selling them.
You know what we didn't do this episode?
Housekeeping.
Lay
it on me, man.
Want to say thanks to Justin Mabe. He joined the Inner Circle recently, supporting us with a Inner Circle level pledge. If you want to know more about supporting the show, head over to 60cyclehumcast.com and click on support the show. That will give you a link to our patron page, which is, I don't know what the patron.
Don't even guess. It's something like
other.
that.
Just do what I told you
Yeah.
5 seconds ago.
The money we make from crowdfunding sources like this,
Go in our pockets and you'll never see it again.
no, it goes into growing the show. We want to figure out ways to, get advertising going to grow the show more. But the next thing that we're going to invest in is our 200th episode party.
Yeah.
We're trying to find a venue right now. We're going to, spend some money on getting a cool place and maybe getting some catering and drinks and things like that and making some things happen. So we're trying to figure that all right now. It's realistically only 9 episodes away. 11 episodes away.
11 episodes.
My math was
12
backwards.
episodes away.
12 episodes away.
Yeah, so
this
we're,
episode's almost over, Steve.
That's true. So we're looking at recording that probably a little off schedule.
Somewhere in
but
November.
It'll be late November, mid-late November.
I want to get it before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before Thanksgiving.
And then it'll air December 11th.
Something like that.
Somewhere in that territory.
Yep.
Yeah, so
It'll be if you're going to be in the San Diego area and one of our listeners actually hit me up and he said he's going to be on vacation in Carlsbad, I think, some specific weekend.
Oh, really?
In November.
Whoa.
And he's from I think it might have been Adzant himself.
Oh, really?
Is going to be in town. So that I know he wants to hang out with us, and it would be cool if we planned this all. Just throw the 200th episode party just for him.
Yeah, just for him. Just
but also for us.
Ruin his family's vacation.
No, he was talking about we should just hang out one day, grab lunch or something.
Oh, sure. Of course.
At least do that. All right, let's hit this last ad. This was sent to us by Charles Gibson. This is a vintage casino guitar and small tube amp for $100. This is a weird red electric guitar of the casino build.
It is not an Epiphany casino.
Not an Epiphany casino. Very little info on this one. Even less info because Ryan didn't copy any more of this. Was this just a screenshot?
This is a screen grab that was posted on the Facebook group.
$100. I'm all over this for $100.
Yeah, me too. I think this looks really cool, especially considering they claim that's a tube amp.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure because there's not a shot of the back. I don't doubt that it is, but this era of guitar and amp, there could have been a solid state amp.
Yeah, even if it's not, this is like a trasher old solid state amp.
It's a living room decoration piece. Both of these things. It's a wall hanger and put this amp on the ground and put a lamp on it.
Hey, this guitar has that cool little toggle switch on it you were just talking about.
Yeah, it does. A little Mustang slider, you know.
It's kind of got this trapeze tailpiece, a moving bridge, single humbucker in the neck. That's probably not actually a humbucker.
No, it's got to be a single.
It's probably single in a humbucker case.
I'm betting.
Probably microphonic as crap too.
Yeah,
it's probably awesome.
I would bet that this is some kind of department store guitar. Is possible.
For sure.
Possible could have been manufactured by Dan Electro / Airline / those various companies that were all out of the same factory.
That sounds actually really familiar. That Casino would have been one of those brands.
But something about that pickup and the tailpiece is triggering that for me. This whole Montgomery Ward, Sears.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Connected to that family of brands sort of thing. It looks really clean and really cool. Maybe it's just the distance of the shot, but it looks like a nice piece. If the neck doesn't play well, like I said, wall hanger.
Yep.
Or have someone put a big conversion neck on it and use it as a slide guitar, a lap steel.
There you go.
It just looks like it's got that mojo, man. And I like that, old school, Dakota red kind of color. It's kind of like that model of Gibson, the one that Joan Jett plays. What is that called?
It's like a double cut melody maker.
Yeah, it's a double cut melody maker where the horns are a little stubby.
Yeah,
and the body shape's a little funky and long, but then it just works somehow.
Yeah.
So $100, and there's a case under there too. It's a set.
Yeah, it's kind of got everything, and I feel like I don't know. I would definitely. At $100, I'm at least interested enough to want to check this out.
Yeah, not even as a player, just as a decoration piece.
Yeah, I don't have anywhere to hang up decorations.
You get some wall hangers, man.
Oh, dude, I don't even have anywhere to put those.
You don't have any
I got a
wall?
wall I need to decorate.
You have walls?
I do have one wall I need to decorate.
Steve, you've got walls. I know you have walls.
All right.
Steve is trying to act like he lives somewhere that doesn't have walls.
Okay.
What, do you live in a mushroom?
Live in one of those round houses.
Oh my gosh.
So it's got walls, but it just has one wall.
One of those dome houses?
You can't hang anything on the walls because there's no flat surfaces.
Yeah, every time I see one of those old hippie dome houses, I'm like, where do you put the couch? Like, everything's going to have like a space behind it.
You just need a round, half round table to put behind your couch. You can stack stuff back there.
Yeah. How do you hang a TV on the wall?
All right. Thanks again to our sponsors, Gabriel Tenorio String Company. If you're looking for probably the best offset strings on the market for sure.
And he does a fancy thing where he wraps the end with colorful silk.
Yeah, which that's not the most uncommon thing, but then it's also like done extra long on those.
For guitar, it's uncommon.
For guitars, for guitars, I don't know anyone else who does it. But
you see it on.
I'm a bass player, man.
You see it on like mariachi strings, which is what his background is. He's making mariachi strings, and then you see it on bass guitars, and I've never seen it on any other guitar string.
I'll give you that.
The silk wrap on the end. Yeah. And I think you have to order like a certain amount of packs, and he does that for you. But he'll do.
Well, I think you just have to do like a certain. I think it's one of the more higher end strings he does. Yeah. Also. Yeah. Check them out. thegts.co. Also, thanks to Fatfoot Effects. Go check out the Thallium 81 at fatfooteffects.com.
A new brand. You probably haven't heard of them. You should go check out their stuff. Get yourself informed. They're going to be the next big thing. I'm sure of it. You're going to want to be up on this brand.
All right. And they actually sent us our song this week. The song was by the band James Neary and the Bevy Blue. James Neary, Sammy Lane Tuthill, and Jeff Top are all Fatfoot Effects artists. They're all part of this band, and this song is called Miracles. Hope you love it.
Yay! Later, guys.
Bye.
Contusions in space. She's not that color by her own mistakes. You should have seen the other guy. Every night pick a fight with miracles. Demons every day. Sun, the day is made.